Hi traders, I'm Nathan Bray from ACY Securities, and I'll be your host today to go through this instructional video on using the advanced pivot points indicator. So today we're going to go through and have a look at what the indicator is, the advanced pivot points indicator, and then look at some of the benefits to using this indicator and why traders might be using it on a daily basis. We'll also go through how to set up the particular indicator on your MT4 platform. And then I'll go through live in the market and give you a read on how one might use this on a day-to-day basis. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, why would you use the advanced pivot points indicator when trading? So pivot points are used by traders to predict intraday support and resistance levels, say in a current or upcoming trading session. Now the pivot points, they're automatically calculated daily based on the low, the high, and closing price of previous sessions. And you can see them painted on the chart over here on the right-hand side of my screen. And also the advanced pivots, they can assist traders to visually identify directional changes in price. Now, the main benefits of using the pivot points, first of all, it's to really gather an understanding of where the market may find intraday support or resistance. It can also help add structure to your trading, increasing the probability of you achieving your desired outcome. And finally, knowing the intraday volatility extreme value in advance through the highest resistance, and it's painted on there as the R3 on the chart on the right, derived by the pivot points, it can be a confluence when trying to identify trading opportunities. The best part is you can use them across all assets. So whether you're trading commodities, foreign exchange, stock market indices, or even cryptocurrencies, you can use this particular indicator across all of those. Now, how to use it, I'll show you in a bit more detail live on the chart in just a moment. But the way to do it is, first of all, number one, look for the ACY Advanced Pivot Points Indicator, which you'll find from the navigator, which is like a yellow folder, a tab on the top of your MT4 platform. And then once you click on that, as you can see over on the left here, it will give you a bunch of folders. So select the indicators folder because, well, it's an indicator. And then you can simply find the ACY Advanced Pivot Points folder there, and you just click on it, or you can even drag it across onto your chart. A window will pop up. It's as simple as pressing OK. It's all been preset, ready for you to use. Now, before we get into the install, let's go into a live example of how this indicator appears and how one might use it on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to bring up a chart now, and you can see here I'm looking at the New Zealand against the US dollar on an hourly chart. Keep in mind that you can see the different pivot point levels. So I'll just run through those. The red ones, they're your resistance levels for today, and you'll see the purple line there. So that's your central pivot. That gives you an idea of what the average might be for the day. And I'll explain that in a bit more detail in just a moment. And then below, you've got your support or your intraday support green levels that are calculated. Remember, they're done by the indicator. So in a sense, these are best utilized for people who are either swing trading, in other words, staying in trades maybe for a couple of days at most, or intraday traders, obviously, and even scalpers are looking at shorter timeframes. So at the moment, I'm on an hourly chart, but if we were to zoom in, and keep in mind, we're looking at this New Zealand US dollar, the way we might use it is the fact that today, and I'll zoom in on a 15 minutes so you can see that central pivot or that purple pivot. You can see today on a 15-minute chart, price came in and it failed. You can see how it tried to get above as it repainted, saying this would be the average price or the central pivot price for the day. And as it fails underneath that, it gives us a clue as to maybe this downward trend is continuing. And we can use these support levels, in this case, for targets, perhaps for profit. And I'll squash this in again for you. And you can see there's a number of levels all the way down that you could use that for. Now, away from the New Zealand dollar, let's have a look at the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Same thing, we're looking on an hourly chart. So you can see price at the moment, it's just staying right around this central pivot. So the price at the moment is just average from, say, the previous day or days. And so it gives us an indication. We haven't seen it break through here and hold. So let's say you wanted to be a buyer. I'll squash this in for you. You can see if price was to get all the way down around this S3, you might use that as a guide to say, if I got price hold down there, then I might, and reversing, I might look perhaps at using that as a guide to being a buyer. If price got all the way up to, say, the R3 or R2, one might look at that and say, maybe if it isn't a downtrend, I'll look at that as a guide for perhaps it falling south. But keep in mind, it's not just about looking for entry points. We can use this particular indicator at looking for places where we might want to take profit. Or more importantly, if price does get up to, say, this R3 and you want to be a buyer, you might look at that as a guide and say, oh, do I really want to be buying in at a major intraday resistance level? So it does allow you that visually allow you to sort of follow your trading pattern by having it right in front of your eyes. Those would be the main benefits. And just to recap, I'd be using it on, say, the hourly chart. You could use it on, say, a 15-minute chart. So you can see here, it gives us a very clear indication at the moment that this US dollar is holding above this central pivot. And for scalpers, we could even go down to, say, the 5-minute chart and see it reversing around that level as well. So they're the sort of ways that I would utilize it on the charts, and things that you can use to give you an indication intraday of where intraday support or resistance might be. Now let's go back and have a look at how we might install it. So it's a very simple process. If you want to install, step one here, you simply go and open your MT4 platform. Number two, you just click on File at the top left of your MT4 platform, and you'll see highlighted here, you've got Open Data Folder. So number three, just open the data folder and you can just drop in that particular indicator into that data folder. And if you have any issues at all, please don't hesitate to contact one of the account managers or your account manager at ACY Securities. They would be happy to assist you with the installation, or more importantly, answer any questions that you might have about this particular indicator. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, traders. I look forward to speaking to you soon.